All right, we got on my man Kenny Santucci. How you doing?
Hey, how we doing?
So Kenny's
Um,
Kenny's in the car right now because this guy is such a sweetheart. He drove all the way from New York City to come to Freak
yeah,
Strength. Bro, you're the best. Brooker,
and
this guy goes everywhere. Everywhere.
dude, I don't know how this guy, Mikey, I don't know how you fit in up here because this is very like yuppie town. This is like, this is the upper crust of the New Jersey society. When you see people on TV who are like, I'm from New Jersey, and you're like, yeah, you don't fit in. This is where they live, right? This isn't white trash. This isn't where I grew up. I grew up in Newark. All right, I went to high school in Jersey City when Jersey City was a shithole. All right, this is too nice. This is like fans. This is Bergen County shit.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm
Yeah.
so it's funny. Most of the listeners look at me, they think I'm homeless, but like I'm a rich kid.
I thought you were homeless for the longest time. I did. I was like, he's got to be fucking fancy. Probably guy drinks out of cups with his pinky up and shit.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
this.
bro. Where are you headed right now? Are you going to your gym?
I'm gonna go to Caldwell now.
Where's
Yeah.
so talk to us about your Caldwell location. I want to hear about that.
So it all started years ago. Two friends of mine, the guy who actually originally opened up CrossFit Hoboken, which was one of the first CrossFit affiliates in the on the East Coast. I mean, I think it was like top 100 ever opened, like the first 100 gyms ever opened. Um, my buddy Craig Parcells, he was Bill Parcells' nephew, the football coach.
Mhm.
So he opened up CrossFit Hoboken. We became buddies. Then he's like, hey, I'm going to open up a second location in Caldwell, New Jersey. They opened up like 11, 12 years ago. And at the time, my parents were living up there. I was in the city. I had my gym in Jersey, in the Paramus and stuff. We did a bunch of work together. Anyway, his partner, this woman, Martha, she took over and she ran it for the past like 7 or 8 years. I was sending my mom and my sister there and my brother-in-law, and they were all members there. She had called me last December, not this past one, 2 Decembers ago. And she hits me up and she's like, hey, I'm going to go. I'm going to get rid of the gym. I'm just over it. I don't want to run it anymore. We have about 50 members here. Yeah, so she had like 50 members or so, and she's like, "Listen, when I was thinking about people who could take this over, I felt like you were the person to do it." So I was like, "All right." I go and look at the space. It feels kind of dead. It was kind of shitty. I'm like, I don't really want to commute back and forth here, but I'm coming out here, on the weekends and stuff to see my family anyway. I got 8 nieces and nephews. My mom's in her 70s, so I try to spend as much time with her as I can. So I'm like, all right, let me toy with the idea. We keep kicking the can down the road. I meet with the landlord, typical fucking landlord, always trying to get over on you. You know how that goes. So finally, I signed the lease last July. We ended up opening in December of 2024, and it's been going great. We got a great group of people out there. I have some phenomenal fucking coaches. The talent pool here in New Jersey has gotten so much better. I mean, I think people nowadays are taking training a lot more seriously. They look at it as a real career. You met one of my coaches, the guy Wes, who was up there with me. Obviously, Christy's like my right hand woman. She kind of kills it with everything. I got to send her out every once in a while just to like make sure all the business side of things are taken care of. But it's been going well. We've been there for 5 months now, 6 months. And it's I think we just have a different product, right? Like my whole thing is like I want to build muscle and community. Those are the two things that I try to focus on as much as possible, and trying to implement this idea that health and wellness is a longevity project. It's a lifelong fitness thing that we do, and I talk about dying in the gym. Like there's two different types of dying in the gym. Dying in the gym means like, hey, I'm as healthy as I possibly can be to the day I die, and I'm always working out. And if I die with a barbell in one hand and a beautiful young lady in the other, I mean that's the way I want to go out. Um, and then also this idea of like killing off the old version of you, like this idea that like, hey, I can't be in the gym. Hey, I don't want to work that hard. Kill off that version and let that version of you die in the gym, and then become this new version of you where you're just like, this is something I do every day. It's like wiping my ass, taking a shower, brushing my teeth. I have to get it
Brooker, can you
Sounds
see why I like him?
Yeah, of course. I fucking
done.
love it already. So, Kenny, what kind of clientele is this gym attracting then? So, obviously, it's only been open like a short time. Are you getting mostly young guys coming in, or also some chicks, or what's the
No, you
deal?
know what it is? I've been lucky enough. The original clientele were a lot of like older women, You know, it was more like a CrossFit gym that kind of got converted into like they were doing Pilates type shit and cycling and stuff. And listen, I'm happy to make anybody and everybody move and work out, but at the end of the day, if like you want to change your physique, you're gonna have to push some fucking weight. So I just doubled down on that. I want to make sure that like everybody's lifting as heavy as we possibly can relative to what they could do. You know, and then just try to create this communal feel. So I always say, I don't know why. I mean, even in my gym in New Jersey, even in my gym in New York, it's like I have younger, more attractive women. And then I got a bunch of old fucks like us, like a bunch of 40, 50 something year old guys who just are trying to, you know, keep the candle burning.
Yo, tell me about your place in Paramus. When was your gym in Paramus?
So I opened that back up in like 2012, end of 2012, beginning of 2013. We opened up CrossFit GSP, which was we had this partnership with Reebok at the time. So we were working I was working out at this CrossFit gym in New York. It was in Midtown. It was CrossFit Fifth Avenue. They were these gym guys from Miami who came up, opened this beautiful space. Damon John was actually like their business partner at the time. And he was they had this big partnership with Reebok, and that was like the height of CrossFit, 2012, 2013, 2014. I feel like that was like the glory days of CrossFit.
Don't worry,
I could hear you guys fine.
Okay, cool. So we lost you. You were opening up the one in Garden State Plaza.
Yeah. So Reebok was a brand partner. So they wanted to open up. They had opened up a location on Fifth Avenue, and they wanted to open up another location on in the Garden State Plaza Mall. So we were going in on it with them. We were going to run the gym, and they had the store, and we were doing this whole partnership. I got involved. My two partners who were actually opening this store up, who were helping open the store, they were not the best of people. So I got into a really shitty business deal with them because prior to that, I didn't own anything. I was just a trainer, and I enjoyed training, but I didn't know anything about the business side. So I got a crash course in, you know, everything legal and business side of things, and, you know, plan to never do that again. And then I ended up doing the same thing again in New York 2 years later. So
what does a kind of deal like that look like? So if you're going to open a gym up with a big brand like that, what does that even look like, a partnership? What does that even mean? Like, what do they bring? What do you bring?
So we could use all their branding. So we could put Reebok on everything. We had like certain logos that we could use as like a Reebok CrossFit affiliate. So there was maybe 3 or 4 in the US, and then they had a bunch overseas. So they were doing them in London and Paris. Some of them I think are still affiliated with them. But since the brand partnership fell apart years ago, I mean, and they knew that they weren't going to renew it around 2016, 2017. They knew they weren't going to renew the contract. But at that point, they had signed a 10-year deal with CrossFit. Reebok and CrossFit signed this 10-year deal. But they were just going to say we were one of their affiliate gyms. And, you know, they helped us out, get like some equipment and shit like that. So at the end of the day, it's really bullshit. It doesn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. They're not really like putting up any money or anything or helping us build it out. But they gave us some equipment. We did a bunch of partnerships. Like when we first opened up, they gave like all our members free sneak gym. I'm opening up. You're with this global brand. That was pretty cool. But I had some shitty fucking partners in the deal. At first, it was going great. And then, as you know, you guys know just as well as I do, as soon as money starts coming through the door and you got to start, you know, passing over cash, nobody wants to do that. And that's when shit gets ugly.
Yeah. So you went from the CrossFit Paramus to a place in New York, and now you own your own place in New York.
Yeah. So I was running Solace, New York back from 2014, 2015 to 2020. You know, kind of managing that, creating programs and doing all the shit that I needed to do there. Again, like just learning the basics and stuff. That was a $3 million build out. it was, there were so many investors were, so 20 happens, kind of clear the slate and started racking up cash, just doing workouts in the park. You know, I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to do this anymore. I know what I want to do. I know I want to own gyms. I know I want to continue to do what I love to do. I just need to do it on my own terms, and I can't have any partners. It's going to cost me every dollar I have to start this thing. So I opened up the gym in the spring of 2021. I opened up the Strength Club New York, and I wanted it to be kind of an offshoot of Strong New York, which I've been doing since 2015. I wanted the strength clubs. So it's like, if you believe in this idea of Strong New York, then these are the clubs that you would belong to. And I had the one, and I really wasn't planning on opening others, but I wanted to actually have the ability to more upfield than I'm Bronx brother.
Hold up real quick. Hold up real quick. You're breaking up now. So you said you weren't going to open up other clubs, but now you wanted to have the ability to do Strong New York in other locations. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, so I wanted to, if I wanted to build the brand, I knew it had to have some. Did you guys hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we got you.
You? Okay. Yeah, like I knew I wanted to have my one gym. Knew I wanted to have this like office space that I needed in New York to kind of operate at it. Like when I'm running the event, I mean, it's pretty much an all year round project, but what I love to do on a daily basis is show up to the gym. I want it to be mine. And, you know, if I ever wanted to do anything else, I had the ability to. So I wanted to call it like a club instead of a gym. Looking at Gronk's brothers, he just put up a video of this beautiful new gym, and it just felt so big and like you know, kind of daunting. I like the idea of like a smaller space where people can hang out and there's the ability to kind of connect. I think when a space is too big, you kind of lose that connection there. But yeah, like I wasn't planning on opening up other gyms, but I wanted to have the ability to, if I eventually did. But it's hard. It's very hard to run more than one gym. And I was talking about that with the guys from Varsity House. Like they have multiple spaces, and I'm like, how do you guys juggle it? You know, the second gym kind of fell into my lap, and now I'm kind of getting that itch that I want to open up more. But I don't understand, or I've never gotten to this point where you could juggle multiple spaces because it really does rely on systems, and it relies on the ability to have great people around you.
Yeah. What are the margins like in your New York location?
I mean, listen, I do everything out of there. So I rent space to other trainers. I have group classes that I do. We do some semi-private stuff. And then I do mostly private. Like I do a lot of privates. But I have a team of 5 other trainers that kind of help me out, and they'll do either other privates that I have or group classes. So it's a little bit of everything. I mean, it's hard because the rent is so much and you get so little for that price. Like for instance, like my overhead just for rent in New York is 11 grand. Mm-hmm. That's what I pay for just the rent. And we only have 2,500 square feet. You know, for 11 grand in New Jersey, I could get triple that space. Mm-hmm. Like my rent in New Jersey is like 5 grand, 4,500.
Yep. And how much space you have in Jersey?
You know, 3,500 square feet. So I have 1,000 square feet more for half the price.
Yeah. Yeah. And even Jersey, where I'm at, bro, they're trying to do $22 a square foot, and it's a warehouse. Like it's so expensive where I'm at. It's nothing like New York City, but it's just so expensive.
No, but it's industrial space too, right? You're not even like in a storefront.
Dude, storefront, they want like $65 a square right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. In New York, storefront could be $250 a square foot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so, it's next level. Like the amount of money. So how much do you guys end up generating in the gym? Like total, do you even know?
Yeah, no. So I've never. I mean, my goal has always been like, all right, if I could do 100 grand a month, that would be amazing. And I've never. I haven't gotten close to that. I think when I hear about all these fucking assholes who are like, "Oh, I made fucking $3 million on one space," I'm like, "How? What are you
Yeah.
doing? What are you sucking dick in the back? Like, what the fuck? How? How are you generating $3 million out of a 2,500 square foot space? You'd literally have to fucking open the space at 3 in the morning and have 50 fucking people there every hour on the hour, right? Because if you're making that, you have to just. I could do easy math. I mean, this is how I ended up running Solace. I would go do the math on this. If you're building a space out for $3 million, now you're starting with $3 million worth of debt. For you just to pay down the debt, it would take fucking 5 years. Now you need operational costs. So for that all to make sense, you'd have to be generating double that a year. You'd have to be making 2.5 a year for that to even fucking come out to something worth having. And it's almost impossible. And a lot of guys I just don't think understand, like, oh, I'm going to open up a gym and I'm going to have all these investors and all. Like, everybody thinks it's like Field of Dreams. If I build it, people just show up. It's like, no, it's, you got to hold on. You could get a bunch of people through the door. How are you going to hold on to them now? Because nowadays there's so much competition. When I opened up the gym in Paramus, there were 2 or 3 other gyms in the area. Now that I'm sure you could tell me better than I do, there's probably 15 fucking gyms just in a block radius.
Yep.
You know, every dickhead and their mother's now a trainer who loves fitness and wants to open up a gym, you know, and you just watered down the market because now you have so many fucking people. It's like, I'm glad more people want to work out and I want more people to be working out, but don't give the rest of us a bad name.
All right. So tell me about Strong New York. So Brooker, me and Kenny were talking at this seminar a couple weeks ago, and the amount that he grew this thing to, it is. I went 1 year, and I'm so dumb. I don't know when anything's going on, and this is like one of the biggest events ever. Yeah, tell me the beginning. Tell the story of the beginning of Strong New York, and then where it is today, and where you're trying to grow it. Go into detail with this. This is incredible, Brooker.
Yeah. So back in 2015, I was still working with Reebok. So I was a Reebok One ambassador. I was working with Techno Gym. I was going to all these trade shows. I started going to FIBO, and I was going to LA Fit Expo, and I went to the Arnold and the Olympia and all this shit. And nothing was in New York. And the shit I was going to, I moved into the city in 2009, 2010. No, 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. And the shit I was going to in New York was like Fashion Week, Comic Con, Food and Wine Festival. There was no fitness events, like nothing that was like the shit that I was going to anywhere else. And I was like, it'd be so cool to like do something like this in New York. So I had pitched the idea to Reebok. I was like, hey, listen, I was like, I have this massive space, the 11,000 square feet in New York. Let's just utilize it one weekend. Let's just do a big fitness and wellness event. So they cut me a check for like 10 grand. And they were like, figure it out. Let's see what you get. And I go, all right, cool. So I flew in like Silent Mike. I had Meg Squats. I had the guys from Caffeine and Kilos at the time. And we kind of just did like, I've got a bunch of brands together that I was working with. And they all sent me like free product and shit. So what everyone's doing now, I started doing back in like 2015. Right. So, we had like 70 people show up to the basement of my old gym. And most of it was like just members who were coming to the gym. And what I wanted to do, I was like, oh shit, that was pretty fun. It was cool. Like people liked it. They got excited about it. So I'm like, Larry, let's do a couple more of these. So we started to grow this brand. And now last year, and every year is like a trial, but we got it to a point where we grew it out by 2019, we grew it out of the gym. Where I was like, oh, I fucking need a bigger space because we're going to have 400 or 500 people. So we partnered with High Rocks back in 2019. I had met the owner of High Rocks. Randomly, his marketing team reached out to me and they're like, hey, Christian would like to meet with you for drinks. I was down at this event in Miami and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll meet with him. Me and this guy go have drinks. I fell in love with this guy. He was fucking awesome. We did the whole partnership on a handshake. There was no contract signed. It was just like, hey, I like you, you like me, let's fucking do this. And I love somebody like that. He's old school fucking German dude. So that year in 2019, we had High Rocks and Strong. Now, nobody knew what the fuck High Rocks was. I had a little bit more clout than they did at the time. They were doing it in Europe, but nobody knew about it. And I had like hundreds of tickets that I just gave away because I was like, yo, you guys should come do this. We were doing High Rocks classes in my at Solace and shit at the time. Nobody knew what it was. I couldn't convince people to do it because everybody's like, I don't want to run that much. That's bullshit. Now you got everybody, their fucking grandmother's doing a High Rocks. Like when I hear my mom's asking me about doing one, I'm like, yeah, see, it's not, you can't even consider it cool anymore when fucking old people ask. It's like, remember when you had Facebook and then your little sister or your friend is like, who's not cool, was like, hey, I'm on Facebook. You're like, well, there goes Facebook. So we partnered with them. We had like 2,000 people show up. We had all this momentum behind us. I was technically an employee for 2020 of High Rocks. Like I was flying around the country, convincing other gym owners to be like High Rocks affiliates. I was like, hey, you guys should join, High Rocks. We could, help you guys build your business. It's a great way to get your members doing something else other than like CrossFit competitions. Because at the time, CrossFit competitions had fallen off a little bit. So I went to Dallas. I was in Chicago. I was in Florida. I was all over the place, just meeting with gym owners and trying to get them to jump on board and like fall in love with High Rocks. Pandemic happens. Everything falls apart. We couldn't do Strong New York events, obviously in New York. So 2020, 2021, we had to take a break. 2022, we bring it back. And that was the one you came to, Mike, that I rented out Chelsea Piers. And we had like maybe 800-900 people there. 2023, I rent out this space called the Glass House, where we've had it for the last 2 years now. This will be the third year we have it there. And it was a lot of red tape after that because of COVID and all that shit still going on. So then last year was our big, like, kind of fucking year. We had a ton of people. Like, over the years, I've been lucky enough to have a lot of great relationships with a lot of great people in the space who have helped me kind of grow the brand, like Gabrielle Lyons, Don Saladino.
All right, Kenny, we lost you again. We lost you at Gabrielle Lyons and Dom Saladino.
Oh yeah, so Gabrielle Lyons, Don Saladino, Jordan Shallows, like these are like kind of the people who've like helped me grow it over the years. I bring them in as speakers and presenters. We've partnered with everybody from Celsius, Reebok, Adidas, Garmin. Like we partnered with these huge brands, and we've been lucky enough. So last year we had like 3,300 people show up to the Glass House for a second year there. This year, the goal is I want to have about 80 different brands. 5,000 people. We already have some really great speakers lined up. The people who reach out who are like, hey, I see what you're doing, I want to be a part of this, has been crazy. Everybody from Jim Quick. I had just talked to Harley Pasternak. There are some really great people I never thought would ever, want to be a part of it, who are like, hey, this looks awesome. I want to be a part of this. And then when guys like fucking Mike Wadango show up, and I've had DeFranco there a bunch of times. Like I've gotten some people that I admire in the space, wanting to be a part of it and showing up. And, one of the first ones I ever did, I'm a buddies with Luca Hocevar. I don't know if you guys know him, but huge fan of like his stuff, and he's incredible. And he was at one of the first ones we ever did. Jay Ferrugia. So like people who are like real trainers and real influencers in my eyes in the space coming to the event, add legitimacy to what I'm doing. And then we'll sprinkle in influencers and bodybuilders and all that shit. But I wanted it to be a little bit different than what I was seeing everywhere else. I wanted to have this New York City flair to it. I didn't want it to be just about bodybuilding and supplements. I wanted fitness of all aspects. So we'll bring in a lot of like the Pilates and the yoga and the dance world and shit like that. And we'll offer some of that stuff. But I want to have this true idea of like, what it means to live a healthier lifestyle. So we'll dive into biohacking. We'll do, we'll have group classes going on all day long, everything like from competitions to, dance classes and shit like that. We'll have cold plunging. So it's just a day to celebrate fitness and wellness. Like last year, Adidas did this whole activation where they were letting people try on shoes. We had Garmin doing like giving people watches to like kind of use and test ride, and then you could buy them afterwards if you wanted to. So we've done a lot of cool activations over the years. And it's a one-day festival to celebrate health and wellness. But it's been like my passion project for the past, I don't know, almost 10 years now. Like I kind of came up with the idea in 2015, and then we've been doing it ever since.
Brooker,
it is hero effort. Huh?
It is incredible, Brooker. So, hey, how much did it cost to rent out Chelsea Piers for the day?
Chelsea Piers cost me for that day, it was like $40,000. But the new space is a beautiful, beautiful venue. It's one of the best venues in the city. I mean, the next step up from this is I'm going to have to go to the Javits Center, because that's the only space big enough that can handle like more than 5,000 people if you want to have like activations and shit going on. But we have this space cost me over $100,000. That's just to rent the space. That's not a fucking stage. That's not one chair set up. So this is like, you know, a couple $100,000 project, you know, just getting the ball rolling for this thing.
Mate, how many people are helping you to make this day come to fruition?
Well, right now, actually just got, before I jumped on the call with you guys, I just hired this marketing team to kind of help us come up with assets and things like that, because I just want to take it to another level. But on a daily basis, it's myself, Christy, and I have about 3 other people who kind of help us execute on shit over the course of the year. And then as it gets closer to the event, I'll bring on more people. Like, you know, a lot of my members love being a part of it and helping out. And like, when it comes to like moving shit and handling stuff, like I'll empty out my gyms because we'll put all the equipment in there. Like this year, we're talking with Panada about being a full sponsor and having like a full gym set up of like all brand new Panada shit. So we're going to build out a whole gym. We, like in the past, like when we were with High Rocks and stuff, they gave us rowers and ski ergs and bikes and all this shit. So we had all that stuff set up for people to do like group classes in. Like, I hate going to these fucking pop-up events and you get there and it's like a fucking hour-long body weight bullshit. Like, we're doing mountain climbers and push-ups the whole time. So I always try to get as much equipment as we can because I want to facilitate a good workout. I want people to like push weight. I can't talk about making people work hard and not have shit to get them to work hard. So for me, it's always just like, how do we up the game? How do we make this thing a bigger deal every year? And give people a good experience. Like, our ticket price is like $50 just to come in and kind of walk around the expo, but it's $150, which I think is still pretty cheap for the day, to have people come and work out and hang out and network and stuff. So a $150 ticket, I want to give people the best possible experience. And, you know, I hope we're doing a good job of that because every year it's grown. So that's an amazing thing. But every year we try to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and try to facilitate as many opportunities for people to work out. Like, we'll do a big run club in the morning with, you know, last year we had like a couple hundred people running down the West Side Highway. So every year it grows and grows.
Brooker, so think about how busy this dude is. And he's everywhere, every weekend, like always somewhere, always see someone, like is always doing something. And he drove to my gym just now to do an in-person podcast. Like, talk about a total workhorse and a sweetheart. Like, put aside, you know what I mean? Like, dude, this is Kenny. Like, you're kick ass, bro. I really appreciate you, man. That's awesome. The amount of work that you put in.
Dude, well, listen, I love it. I love it. I enjoy it. You know, I try not to miss too many events. I actually just bought 2 tickets to the next week is the Fancy Food Show in New York. Mm-hmm. So this is like just crazy health and wellness brands or like food companies that are coming out that want to launch products. And I want our event to have that element of, you know, food and music and fitness. Like, I want to put it all under one roof. So I try to go to everything. I actually just bought a booth at Comic-Con this year. So we'll have a booth at Comic-Con, a Strong New York booth at Comic-Con. And we'll have a booth. We've done it 2 years ago. I got a booth at the New York City Marathon as well.
Now, when you get these booths, are you at the booth?
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, for sure. I
Right.
mean, I won't be there the whole time because it's like I got to kind of juggle shit, but I'll have like shifts. So we'll create shifts. So like, hey, I'm there in the morning. I'll have a couple of the girls with me, like just selling shirts, giving away drinks. Like we'll do as much as we can. My whole idea with Comic Con was I haven't missed a Comic Con since it's been in New York. Like I'm a fucking loser. I'm a huge nerd when it comes to comic books and stuff. Um, so I always go. So I'm like, I might as well try to make a buck when I'm going to this shit. Years ago, when I worked at MTV still, I was going all the time and I pitched to MTV.com. There was a branch of MTV.com called MTV Geek. And I was one of the hosts for MTV Geek. So I would go and I interviewed the guys from like The Walking Dead and Adam West and Jim Lee. And I have all signed shit by these guys and like interviewed them. Um, so I was doing that shit for years and I was like, fuck it, I got to come up with a new idea. So now I'm just going to set up my podcast there. I'm going to have interview a bunch of fucking nerds and shit who are there. Um, and we'll do sell some shirts. But like the and artists I work with are all like guys I know from like that world. So I'm having them design me like shirts, like comic book style strong New York shirts and shit. Like gorillas climbing up the side of a building and fucking horror comic style shirts and shit. So
Right.
yeah, you gotta enjoy it.
For sure. So with then strong New York, right? So obviously you're making money from the ticket sales. Are there other
Mhm.
ways that you're making money? Like, do any of the brands give you any percentage of sales that they make or anything like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, so the business model is I try to generate enough money on the vendors and the brand partnerships. So I want them to be like, for instance, like Celsius's plan is always to get more cans in hands. They want more people drinking their product, right? Adidas had a shoe launch last year. So they're like, hey, we want to get this new shoe on as many people as we can and get pictures with like influencers wearing it and shit like that. Think about the marketing play. People used to spend millions of dollars on billboards and putting ads in magazines and stuff. They still have that revenue now, but they're not doing it that way. It's more about the community, in-person feel, social media, all that bullshit. So we're just trying to facilitate and help those brands create that viral experience by doing all the bullshit legwork that they don't want to do. So for Adidas to do what I'm doing, it's like it would cost them millions of dollars. So they're like, hey, if we just give this guy, if we partner with this company that's already doing it, then we'll get the same ROI for half the money.
Sweet.
So
Yeah.
So then
yeah,
you'll sell to Adidas, then like you're the official shoe sponsor. Like there'll be no one else coming in with shoes, as an example. So
yeah,
then they'll pay for that, right?
yeah. So like there's like an exclusivity deal. If you're like, hey, you don't care about other shoe brands being there, great. I don't, you know, then we could have multiple shoe brands. But if they're like, hey, we want to be the only fucking sneaker there, then we could do that too. But like obviously everything's a sliding scale. If you want exclusivity, then I gotta fucking charge you a little bit more because now you're kind of choking me on what I can make for the event.
Mhm.
Sure. I mean, how do you even work out what to even charge them?
A lot of it is like basic built. I mean, at first I was just throwing shit up against the wall and hoping it stuck. Now I'm like, okay, I need X to make this happen. Like people are like, where do you come up with the booth price? So for instance, like if you get a booth at the Arnold, it's like anywhere from 3 grand to 5 grand. It doesn't cost them that much. They could charge that much because now they have that clientele. For me, I evaluate, okay, the space costs me, let's just say more, if I wrap marketing, advertising, load in, load out, all that shit. When I put it all together, and then, all right, what would a 10 by 10 space cost me there? It's somewhere in the ballpark of like 5 to 8 grand, right? So I need to charge a brand depending on the size of the brand. There's a lot of what I love to do too is like leverage the bigger brands to help me bring in smaller brands that I feel like have potential to grow. There are a lot of local New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut brands that I know somebody who's does a healthy pastry shop or somebody who's got like a local meal prep service or whatever it is. I want to be able to offer them growth, long term and have them connect with some of these other brands to help them grow. So it's an incubator for businesses and brands and stuff to grow and meet influencers and different people that they normally wouldn't meet unless they were at something like this. So depending on the size of the brand, we evaluate like what they're looking for, and everything's like customized. So let's say like Freak Strength wanted a booth at Strong New York, and they're like, hey, I want to do one Instagram post, I want to be in every newsletter that you guys have, and I want to put our name up on the fucking banner or the billboard that you guys have there. It's like, okay, we evaluate what each price is, and there's add-ons. So it's like, if he just wanted a booth, it'd be X. If you want to have all these other add-ons, it's, you know, X, Y, Z, and whatever it is. So it's like going to McDonald's. You're like, yeah, I want the burger, and then get me a side of fries, the drink, and this. So that's what we try to do. So we've kind of got it down to a science at this point. You know, and also my big sell to everybody is I go, hey, people are paying $150 to come to this fitness and wellness event. These are obviously, you know, people with some disposable income who are interested in buying more shit in the health and wellness space, who don't mind spending. Like last year, Therabody was one of our big sponsors. They sold out of everything. They were selling $1,000 fucking red light masks, and you know, the compression boots, and fucking lotions for your face and shit. These are the people who want to buy that shit. Like that's who our clientele is. So we try to get brands that align with this.
Fucking awesome.
Right, bro?
Yeah.
Dude, talk about a go-getter. Like when I spoke to him last week, and I heard everything he's doing. I mean, bro, you single-handedly, between you and Joe, you flipped a switch for me in like how I live my life right now. Because I mean, I wake up, I do all my stuff for the gym, morning stuff, business stuff, and then I go to the gym, and then I come back, I do some more stuff for the gym, then I go to the gym, then I come home, and that's it. You guys are out and about on top of everything that you're doing for the gym. You're also like Joe's at Summer Strong right now with Sornex. Or he just got back from Summer Strong.
Dude,
and
I used to go every year. I love Summer Strong. I've been to Summer Strong probably 5 or 6 times in a row. The last time I went there, I don't know what the fuck happened. Bert would not even fucking look in my direction. Like he spoke at my event years ago, and I don't know what the fuck problem that guy has with me. And I was like, you know what? This guy clearly doesn't want me here. So I stopped going, but I used to go every fucking year.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was so fucking weird. Like we've literally had conversations. In 2018, 2019, I was going to open a second Solace in New York, and I was talking to him about doing all custom rigs and shit from Sornex. I was like, listen, it's more expensive than Rogue, but I'd rather go with you guys because I want to support your business. I like your product, blah blah blah. And then I went to Summer Strong not last year, the year before. Yeah, like 2 years ago. And I went to go say hello to him. He wouldn't fucking say hi to me. So I'm like, all right, fuck this. I'm not gonna come back. It was so weird. I'm like, you're a fucking another grown man. If you had a problem, just say something. Well, I don't know what the fuck the problem is. So
prior to doing all of the Strong New York stuff, were you still I mean, I met you at DeFranco's. So like so you were even doing stuff then, like constantly. So what are you hoping to gain? And this is what I want to know. Now it's easy for you to understand. You're recruiting, you're spreading the word of Strong New York. But why did you do so much networking? Did you know that you always wanted to do something other than the brick and mortar?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I see this as like supporting the brick and mortar spaces. Like the brick and mortar is what I like to do on a daily basis, but I always need to be working on something else. It's just the way my brain works. I like the idea of having other things going on. I think that's just the way I'm wired. I like the fast pace of kind of the network. I think you are who you surround yourself with. I think it's super important to kind of network with the people who are doing the things that you like to do. You know, one of the things I wrote down in a notebook, I still have the notebook at my apartment. I wrote down back in 2013, 2014, I said, success to me meant collaborating and working with the people that I respect and I admire in the space. And for me, you know, having sitting on stage with like Don Saldino and Gunnar Peterson and you know, a lot of these people that I look up to, I'm like, fuck, this is what I want to do. And you know, I need to have something to build value into their lives. So all of us are trying to work on something. We all want to be better at something. So I'm like, if I could create something that I could build value into other people's lives, then I'm more valuable. There was one of the things I reference all the time when I was a kid. There was a book. I don't know if you've ever read it, but it's like a children's book. It's called Stone Soup. And basically it's about this beggar who comes to town and goes from house to house asking people, hey, could I get, you know, some corn or bread or meat or whatever it may be? And everybody turns him away. So then this guy goes to the middle of the town and he puts a boiling pot of water on and starts stirring it up. And people are like, hey man, what are you creating over there? And he's like, oh, it's stone soup. If you had some, you know, corn or pasta or something you could throw in here, it'll make it taste a whole lot better. And they're like, yeah, let me go grab it. So people start dumping shit into this pot, and then everybody has this big feast at the end. And when I read the book, I always thought it was like, oh, okay, this is what this guy's gift was. He brought everybody together, you know, and everybody shared and kind of feasted. And it was like, no, it's about a beggar who tricked all these people. And I'm like, sure, you could see the glass is half empty or you could see the glass is half full. At the end of the day, everybody had a good fucking time. So it depends on what you want to see. So for me, I was like, well, I don't really have any skills. I look at some people who are like, hey, they're really good at this, and this person's really good at this. And if I got everybody to sit down in one space, this will create a really good time. So it's always kind of what I don't think I really had a plan for it. I just started doing it.
That's really cool. I really like that story, the stone soup story. I gotta look that up. That's it.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's really that and your perspective on it too. Like it wasn't a guy that tricked people, it was a guy that brought everyone together. Like
Yeah, I never saw it as that until somebody brought that up to me. I'm like, they're like, oh, it was about a beggar who tricked people. I'm like, fuck, I never even thought about it like that. I always thought it was like this guy didn't have shit and he fucking brought like I looked at the better side of it, that people were like excited to be together and fucking share all their shit. Like one person, you know, we're all so much better together, right? Like, for instance, here you'll get this analogy, and this is what I've always loved. You know, I was a huge Hulk Hogan guy. I was also a huge Ultimate Warrior guy. I was also a huge Macho Man guy. The thing that got me the most excited was when these guys would team up and fucking, you know, go against the Faces of Fear or the Natural Disasters, and you're like, holy shit. Right, when Ultimate Warrior is getting beat up in the middle of the ring and Hulk Hogan comes out, everybody goes fucking bananas. So I'm like, what if I got this really fucking cool guy to come speak at my event, and then this other guy comes out to join him? That's fucking cool. Like I just would get so excited about that. So it was my opportunity to kind of like that same feeling that I got when I saw this happen. I was like, all right, how do I create that same kind of reaction within the fitness space?
You know the guy that made the stone soup too, though, and you said that you ain't got no skills, but I think you got one which like that guy has there, which is agency, no? Because I mean, he could have also
Yeah,
sat and cried about not having any food, but the fact that he
for
just
sure.
started making whatever he could make, just like even you trying to build this strong expo. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start, mate. Like, I mean, do you know what I mean? Like you set that
Yeah.
just to even create it, come up with prices, try and find the people, try and like that's super high agency, man. And that's obviously clearly one of your top skills there.
Yeah. No, and listen, I have no prior experience in this. I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing. When people are like, hey, what's your plan? I go, I don't know. I'm trying to make a great event. I don't look at the numbers. If I need something, like people are like, what's your budget? I'm like, if I think I need it, I'll figure it out. You know, if I think like this is a life and death type thing, like even with this marketing company, they're like, oh, we're a fucking $20,000 retainer a month. And I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, all right, let's just, if we could cut down on that bill a little bit, that'd be great. Otherwise, like, let's just fucking go full steam ahead. You know, I'll sometimes lose it on people because, especially with PR is one of those things where it's like untangible. They can't give you a fucking straight answer. It's not like black or white. It's very like, well, kind of. And I get how the world works. Like, you have to have something to give media so that they have something to push. And I'm like, we have something to push. I'm creating this fucking massive event. This isn't some bullshit like Sunday morning fucking run club bullshit. This is like millions of dollars, going into this. Like, I've spent the last 9 years creating this. It's not like, oh, hey, me and my buddies are fucking bored and we want to try to pick up pussy on the weekend. So let's just create a fucking run club. I'm like, no, this is like a real event. I want people to get real value out of this. I'm trying to help people build their brands and make money and do shit, So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, Kenny, what's like, I mean, obviously, I have no experience and no idea, but I've got some certain things that I could imagine are probably some of like the more bigger headaches that you face. What's something that it would only you would be able to answer, which is like something that people wouldn't typically imagine is a hard thing to deal with when you're dealing with such a big event? Like, what's like you know what
I
I'm
mean,
trying.
yeah, I'm 100%. I've got too many of them to mention, but like one of them is definitely the fucking surf people. Like, some people just think you should fucking kiss their ass every fucking chance you can, and just be happy that they showed the fuck up. But what I've learned over the course of the last 9 years is it's never about one person. I've never announced one person and only
We're losing you, Kenny.
all
We're losing you right
like,
now.
learned. What's up?
All right. You said it's never about the one person. We lost you. Go on.
Oh shit, you lost me. Yeah, so it's never about the one person. So it's always about creating that idea of FOMO, and then having this super team, this fucking mega powers of people to come through and create this this environment that people want to be around. So for me, having to deal with that, and then just dealing with some fucking people. Like, there are certain people I'd love to fucking punch in the face that I have to deal with. For instance, like at the venue, there's like one or two people who always like, I have like a couple women who work for me, and they're like these, I don't want, just so I don't get canceled, but there are certain types of guys who act like women, who love fighting with women. So when they're arguing with fucking girls, they're like cunts about it. So I have to like always step in. And I was like, guy, you're creating more work for me. I got to fucking argue with you because you want to pick on fucking a 4'2" girl. Shut the fuck up and just let her do what she needs to do. We've already established this. I've already paid for it. Shut the fuck up and let's move on. And it's always like this catty bullshit. Like, I got this fucking man acting like a woman arguing with every girl on my fucking staff. And I'm like, buddy, this isn't that big of a deal. Shut the fuck up and let them do it. And then why do I have to get involved and become an asshole? It's like everything is detailed. We try, like, because we've done it so many times where we're like, hey, we need this. We're going to come in at this time. We're going to deliver at this time. We're going to move out at this time. Everything's detailed. And it's always some bullshit where like, oh, well, we didn't say that. It's like, yeah, we did. Now we got to go look up the contract, bring it to them. Like, all this little like nonsense where it's like we're dealing with humans, right? One of the things I always flip out about, like, if I have to deal with a computer, and it's, you call up a company and you're like, you're waiting you rather talk to another human, because as another human, you're like, hey, sympathize with me. Here's what I'm trying to do. Help me facilitate this, and let's get through it as soon as possible. When somebody's like stubborn about that, not helping out, you're like, why are you making both our lives more difficult? Because now I'm not going to stop breaking your fucking balls till you give me what I want. And you're just sitting here arguing. You're not making any more money off it. It's not benefiting you in any way but to be a prick. So it's like, why are we doing this? Why are we playing this fucking game?
Yeah. It's always the same.
Yeah, dude, last year, thank God. No, I mean, listen, last year there was probably 2 or 3 people that I would have loved to fucking punch in the face if I knew I wouldn't have got locked up. Like, the day before the event, I'm just trying to put all the pieces together, and I'm just had so many people just fucking testing my patience. I'm like, guys, please just get done what you were fucking supposed to get done. And you have to have alternate ways of like getting shit, right? Like whether it's equipment or it's you know, printed materials. It's like there's so many pieces. And I'm kind of a perfectionist where I'm like, all right, I want it to look a certain way, I want it to feel a certain way. And if it doesn't feel that way, it puts me in the worst fucking mood. But you have to be able to pivot and move on and not let it bother you as much. So I'm still working on that. That's why I go to jujitsu fucking 3 times a week.
So let me ask you, why did you start a podcast? Is it specifically for the event? Because it seems like you have enough going on.
Yeah, yeah. It was something, you know, like I said, I used to do this stuff for MTV Geek. I was, you know, I did a after show for MTV.com with Jersey Shore. I hosted that. I went to improv school for 4 years. Um, you know, it was always like kind of like a thing I just like doing. I like bullshitting with people. You know, everybody in my family always makes fun of the fact like I could go anywhere and have like a 3 hour conversation with people. Because I'm just genuinely interested in what other people do, especially like what do you do for money? Like what gets you off? What do you know? So I've hosted a bunch of shit in the past and I wanted to start a podcast back in like 2010, 2011. I just didn't think anybody would ever fucking listen to me. And it was a pain in the ass to do it, right? You had to get your own cameras and all of that bullshit. Nowadays, now it's like a lot easier. There's a studio that I use right in New York that I pay a couple $100 every time I do a podcast and I bring people in and I'm like, all right, they cut up the video for me. So it's just, it helps me build the event a little bit more having people on. It allows me to interview the people. Like there's definitely people we'll have at the event where some people don't know who they are and other people you know who people know who they are. So it gives us a chance to interview these people, get them out there, put them on our social channels so that people can learn more about them, be like, oh, I like that person, I'd love to go meet that person. So it just allows us to leverage the event a little bit more too. But I mean, as of right now, it's just a fucking drain on my pocket. It cost me tons of fucking cash to do it. I probably spent about $30,000 up to this point
On your
building this
podcast?
fucking podcast. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Shut up.
And I don't even have like a fucking built up. Yeah. I don't even have, I mean, listen, it cost me somewhere between $500 and $700 every fucking episode. We've had about 30 episodes. And then we've done, you know, between the graphics and the marketing and all that shit, you know, and then I've put some people up and like interviewed them and me going to places and spending money on like fucking going to different events to shoot the podcast. So like when I went out to the Arnold, dude, that cost me almost 7-8 grand. Like I rented the car, I had to pay my fucking um videographer, photographer guy to come out with me. You know, food and shit there. It gets expensive. Like I started racking up a fucking bill. I'm like, shit, I spent a lot of money.
Holy moly. Right, dude. I don't Brooker, how much money you think we spent on our podcast over the years? Maybe $1,000? Maybe. Oh, and we have 200 episodes. But I mean, ours is, I mean, you could tell it's all Zoom stuff. We just do it for information and get to know people. Like we don't do it for
Yeah.
anything other than that. But you're trying to put forth a product, so it's completely different.
Yeah.
Dude, talk about like just doing it, huh? Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
He's
well,
the man
listen.
making the soup, bro. He's just out there just fucking making soup.
I said I was like I could either spend like 10 grand going to fucking Cabo and you know buying fucking margaritas and pina coladas on the beach and be fucking miserable thinking about what I should be doing, or I could just spend the money on the shit I think I should be doing to help my business and just do that.
Yeah.
Because you're spread, because you're doing so much stuff, Kenny, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is just purely a question, right? But if you had to go all in on just one thing, then to like skyrocket, what would it be? Would it be strong? Do you think strong has like unlimited upside potential to it?
Yeah, you know, when people ask me what I want out of everything, I don't know. Like, I know I want to be in a gym every day.
Yeah.
but yeah, I think the event has fucking real legs. Like I would not have gone this far when I tell you like the amount of stress that I deal with the event, it's just so much. Like I love doing like even the shirt, like we have like a whole like t-shirt line every couple months. We drop like a whole line of shirts and shit. But again, it's all like to support the event, to make the event a bigger deal. Um, and everything, yeah, like I mean the gyms are there to support the event, the podcast is there to support the event, so I think the event has real legs. I just wanted to create a party. I think a lot of it is from, I was a fat fucking awkward kid. um I never had problem having friends and shit, but I always like to be the guy throwing the party. uh so I've been doing that. I used to throw myself birthday parties every year in my 20s and shit. And then I'm like, this is fucking lame. Who gives a shit that it's my birthday? I'm like, how do I get more people to win? Like, I wanted more people to have a good time and like actually get something out of it. So I think with the event, if I could facilitate, one of the things I did last year, I looked around, I stopped myself for a minute, looked around the room, and so many people like genuinely having a good time, smiling, creating, you know, uh, creating like relationships and networking and stuff. And I'm like, I really like this. This feels so good. Like that's what I wanted. One of my clients got a job offer, got a job out of the event. People are meeting and connecting and working together. That's what I like doing. I want to build value into people's lives. And if you're not building value into people's lives or servicing people in some way, I don't know. I feel like I'd be fucking useless. What's the point? You're just living, you're just there. You're like a fucking garbage can in a restaurant. You're just kind of collecting shit.
How old are you?
42.
42 years old. How do you sleep at night? Do you actually sleep?
Terribly. Yeah. I don't, dude, if you came to my apartment, I have notebooks all over my apartment because I have, I get these ideas in the middle of the night and I'm like, I got to write this down. Like this will be good for this and this will be good for that. So,
I'll tell you
yeah,
what though,
I think,
with the lack of sleep you get, your memory is great, bro. Like you remembered what year I went to. I don't know what year I went to Strong New York.
yeah, I remember because I was like, obviously, I remembered you and shit, and I was like, oh fuck, I can't believe this guy's here. Like it was like, I love when, like, more so you showing up was a bigger deal. Like I had all these fucking guys from like The Bachelor and fucking Jersey Housewives and all this bullshit. A bunch of these people came to last year, like out of nowhere. I had no idea they were coming. They all bought tickets and shit, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, fucking so and so's here." I was like, "I don't give a shit. Great, I love that they're there. It's exciting that they're there. I love that people are like buying into it." But I was like, when you were there, I was like, "Oh shit, this is cool." Like the people like that I respect in the industry are fucking coming to my event. That's to me, that's cooler. You know, if I was like, "Oh, Mike Ladango was at my event," most young hot girls that I'd want at my event be like, "Who gives a shit? Who's that?" I was like, well, he looks like a little league coach.
Yeah, and dude, I'll tell you what though, when I was there, he had MDs speaking, Brooker. Like doctors were on stage talking
Yeah,
research. Like there were
yeah,
legit speakers there. Like
yeah,
it wasn't just like, hey, do this for your booty or anything like that. He has
yeah,
legit people there. I was
yeah.
super impressed.
No, this year we partnered with Mount Sinai Hospital. So I have a bunch of doctors and research scientists and stuff come in and speak on behalf of Mount Sinai. So like Mount Sinai is a partner this year. Obviously, we'll do. We got Celsius coming back. Like I want all aspects of health and wellness. It's like you don't have to agree with everything, but there's definitely going to be something there that would attract you and might be something that you're into. Whether it's like Pilates or kettlebells or fucking the nutritional aspect of things. There's something for everybody. We touch on a lot of shit.
Yeah. When is it this year? Tell us more about this year. How do people sign up? Where can they go? When
Yeah,
is it?
so Right now we're gonna launch tickets in the next like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Um, that's why I was talking to the marketing team because I wanted to look a certain way. I could make tickets available right now if I wanted to, but I wanted to just make sure all the branding and stuff. I always say you don't realize how important art is until you need it. So you want to have like the right artwork. I want it to have the right feel. So we'll go live with the tickets in the next like week or two. But if you go to strongnewyork.com um, and just sign up for our newsletter, it'll kind of give you updates on. We'll have when the tickets go on sale, and then we're going to start pretty soon, kind of announcing who we have coming and speaking. I have this young lady that I've known for a long time. She's doing this whole like kettlebell fucking workshop thing for like an hour. We have like 4 or 5 stages where people could work out. So we have like a matted out area where like we'll have kids gymnastics classes and jujitsu and striking. Like I had Owen Roddy there, who's Conor McGregor's fight coach before. I had a bunch of like UFC fighters come and teach like MMA, like beginning MMA classes and shit. We'll have different brands, like everything from mixed martial arts to yoga and Pilates and shit like that. So we'll have a little bit of everything. And then if you don't even want to work out, you could walk around. We had protein ice cream companies there and meal prep companies. And this year I partnered with this company called Impact Kitchen out of Canada. They're from Toronto. They have 7 locations in Toronto. They're opening up their first 2 here in the United States, one in Williamsburg and one in Flatiron, right next to my gym. It's a beautiful space. The food's amazing. Their whole thing is like low ingredients, more natural foods, like kind of a grab and go type of spot, but you could sit there and hang out and stuff. Food's awesome, and they're like our food partner for the event. So they'll have like catered food going on all day long. So like food, I got a couple DJs that I'm talking to. So we'll have like music going on the whole time. We'll have cold plunging, saunas. We you name it, we're gonna have it there. I have a tattoo artist come every year. I got a girl who's doing like massages and blowouts and shit. I like last year I had like 3 massage therapists like just doing massages all day long. So it's like a little bit of everything.
And when is the event?
September 27th.
Brooker, when are you back from Europe?
I'll be back. I'll be back then. Let's go. Because then we can go down to Jacksonville afterwards. It's the next weekend, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Something like
Yeah.
that. Dude, perfect.
Yeah.
What's in Jacksonville?
So I have this I'm real Jesus-y. So I have this church that I'm a member of down in Jacksonville. It's called Church of 1122, and they're having this men's event.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I'm going to a men's event tonight too. I've been getting into that weird gay shit too. I went. I'm going to this all men's dinner tonight. It's like 20 guys, and my buddy runs it. He's definitely into the fucking Jesus shit too. He's always trying to convert me to going to church. I was like, dude, I didn't go to the church that I was supposed to go to. I'm going to go to another church now. So, but no, I'm into it. I think it's cool. And like last week, I went to this event in at Othership, this like sauna cold plunge thing, and it was like 50 guys, and we're all like fucking hugging and shit. And I'm like, this is kind of fucking weird, but got to change it up every once in a while.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if these guys are going to be hugging. A lot of these guys at this church are like hunters and like they're like jujitsu dudes. There's a lot of like cool guys at this place. It's like a different kind of church. It's they're
these
awesome.
guys are too. I mean, all these guys who invite me are these fucking mutants. If you saw them in the gym, you'd be like, what the fuck? How much gear is this guy on? And he's like, oh, maybe you should come. I'm like, all right, sure, I'm into it.
Well, after Strong New York, if you'd like to come down to Jacksonville with us, Kenny, you're more than welcome.
I might have to. I think that next weekend is like something. Oh, I think the next weekend is Comic-Con. Is it that following weekend? Yeah. So I got a table. I paid fucking $6,000 for a fucking table there. So I got to make it fucking worth it.
Dude, talk about always on it. Like you're going to be planning this event for thousands of people. And the very next weekend, you're doing something.
Yeah. So last year, I went from my event. I did my event that weekend. The following weekend, I flew out to Seattle to Luca's event. And he goes, I can't believe you're fucking here. I go, buddy, where else would I go? What am I going to sit at home and rub one out? No, I'm coming to support. I'm here for the event.
Bro, that's you're but like again, that's why you're building this insane event. You're nonstop. Dude, Kenny, I'm
Yeah.
so insanely impressed. And you grow your social media. I looked at your social media. You got 150,000 followers. How did you
Yeah.
get all? Where did
Yeah.
all that come from?
I don't know. I mean, in the last couple months, because I've been really fucking dialing into this shit, I've been getting a lot of like in the last couple of months, it probably grew a couple thousand, 3,000 people. Um, but I've spent a ton on it. I wasn't buying followers, but I'm like putting money into my shit to like grow it.
Dude, good for you. Good for you. I
Yeah.
mean, you're you're doing everything you got to do. It's super. It's really admirable, man. Like again seeing you and Joe and just all the stuff you do, and I'm like, man, these guys do exactly what I do, and I like it's they do triple the amount of what I do, And you have multiple gyms, and you're doing other stuff. Like
Well,
what the heck am I doing? Lost you, Kenny. I gave you a compliment, and you bailed on me.
We ain't lost him. He's just processing it. He's letting that gay shit work. What?
Yeah,
I think,
I'm
we
into
need him
that
in the
gay shit.
car. Let's drive down to Florida and we just go with Kenny. That would be a brilliant fucking drive.
Oh, I guess we lost him. Well, I guess that'll be the end of the episode. Dude, I can't believe how much this guy does. He just
Yeah,
does so freaking much. It's so impressive. That's why I wanted to have
yeah,
him on. He's
yeah,
nonstop.
yeah, 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 yeah. What an event. We should go.
Oh, we're
We should.
going. Dude, the only reason I didn't go the past couple of years is because I totally forgot. Like he invited me, and then like me, I'm Johnny Big Time. I completely forgot about everything. Like I
Mm.
felt so bad, and he's always so nice. Like when I went to the event, I mean he's doing this whole event. He stayed, he hung out with me. Like he spoke on stage. He like called me. I was like, "Oh, Michael Dango's here!" Like, and a bunch of other speakers were there that knew me, and they all were like, "Hey, Mike, how you doing?" Like, it's a really really cool event, and I'm like, I can't believe it was huge when it was at Chelsea Piers, and now it's
Yeah.
5 times the size of what it was at Chelsea Piers. It's that's why I was so excited to have this guy on. I couldn't believe it. He's everywhere, and he drove to my gym today. He drove to my friggin' gym to come on the podcast. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
It's
He's a winner.
yeah. Like some of these guys are just next level. Like whether it's coaching or the business stuff, like there's just this personality that I very few guys I know that are super super successful are like, well, I need to get my 8 hours. you know, they're
Yep.
just and this guy's just such a creative. He's nonstop. Just has to go 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 go. The notebooks.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I just think takes a lot of balls to even try and get that thing going. Kind of put things like FIBO and Arnold
Mhm.
and seeing how big of a fucking event that is, and then just having the bollocks to say, I'm going to try and set something up here in New York, especially in New York. You know what I mean? Where you're going to get fought and no one's going to want to give you a chance. And, fair
Mhm.
play, fair play. But also 9 years, 9 years is a long time in the making. So he's
Yeah.
definitely learned a thing or two in 9 years.
Yeah. Overnight success 10 years later, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Let's end
Let's
this.
wrap. Yeah.
All right. You can find him Strong New York. What do you say? StrongNewYork.com. How you doing?